All right, I'm gonna make sure this is working. Everything likes to update every time I do it. All right, I'm gonna make sure this is working. Everything likes to update every time I do it. All right, we're good. I just gotta get this thing clicked down now. All right. Oh, look, it's Joey. He's gonna be hanging out with all the bigwigs this weekend. What's going on, everybody? I am by my lonesome tonight, so probably about an hour. I got to hit a show early tomorrow morning. Not set up. See what we could find up there. PSA came back today. Two orders from Economy in one day. Kind of crazy. And we just had another one pop tonight. So I will say with PSA, their stuff is trucking along big time. I think I still got one in QA1 and maybe two in QA1. I can't remember now. But not bad with their time frame right now at all. I was playing around with those YouTube shorts earlier, so trying to get a hang of it from home before I start trying to do this stuff live from shows and stuff. Look at it like for me, for my little, I guess you can call it a road show or adventure or whatever. Shows will probably be like May through September this year. I'll be going to a lot more. And that'll be where I'll be set up at. So if you guys are out, see me in one of the shows, stop by for sure. And as of now, I'm probably will be coming live tomorrow to do a quick sale. I got about, about 30 items to my right. So just stuff that's been here for a while. Gonna move, try to see if we can get moved and get the stuff fresh into the store. Now I'll tell you what, it's been a crazy week here. I'll wait while everybody gets in here. So follow up on my USPS video I did about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. So I take off Wednesday from work. Got 3 insurance claims in out of 4 that I could claim. The other one will be like late next week. But we'll see how that goes. I can tell you if you ever have to do one, make sure you have the original receipt you paying for the card because it's a little bit easier. The stuff that I was sending off to consignment, luckily I do like an invoice type deal thing for myself, and I had to look up all these card prices. Only one was not being able to be found. So I don't know how they're going to handle that one offhand, but we'll see how it goes. I'll keep everybody posted. They told me it's supposed to take within 30 days to get an answer. If they reject it, then I have to file, I don't know, an appeal. And if that gets rejected again, you file a second appeal, it goes out to the outside agency for them to review. So we'll see how it all goes. Crazy part is I emailed the dudes on my slabs and never heard anything back yet. What's up, Brian? Yeah, hey, PSA is moving, man, moving. That economy that we just got grades in tonight, I'm guessing will ship Monday. So that'll be another one that'll be inbound. And I got the big, I call it the big monster, like 115 ultra modern. That's in QA1. I'm going to say probably another 2 weeks before that comes through and ships. Trying to look. Let me look. I think I have one more in QA1 right now. No, I don't. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm all messed up looking at stuff because there was just so much action this week. This one QA1. Yeah, this one's in QA1 too. But I only got my Laffy Taffy in there from Allure and Carmelo Anthony in that one prime from NT. Yeah, they were at my door a few minutes ago. I was going to get up, but I figured they'd just leave me a, what do they call, a little post-it note there. Oh man, that has to be the famous one from last year. If not, it's definitely top two. What's up, Derby? Derby, I think it's the first Saturday in April is the Salem card show. It's at the fairgrounds. Not set up, but I'll probably just pop in real quick and out. Oh, I couldn't tell you on horse racing. I am a no-go on that stuff. I've picked, I think, one or two winners out of like 10 years, so I'm not that great. California something, and there was another one. Guy I know, he's into race horses. He owns some, and he's really good at picking those winners out. So definitely not me. What's up, Todd? How you doing? But yeah, the old USPS thing will be closed out here in about a month finally. Everything's been changed over. Fort Knox PO box. I've mailed multiple stuff out of there. No issues, none. So it pretty much pinpoints it right back at the local post office here. But yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. All the headaches I had. Like I said, I'd take Wednesday off just to do all those stupid claims. A lot of information has to go into them. One had a missing mail report, the other ones didn't. So I don't know how they're going to handle it all. I just got tired of dealing with it all. But yeah, probably tomorrow early evening Eastern time, I'll come live. Once I get home from the show, I'll try to pop maybe a quick video up just so everybody can get a quick look. But I don't think there's any card over $100. Probably average 20 to $50, something like that. So no, nothing at all. JW, I am not. Joey's got at the Mint this weekend. Mint Collective. I am hitting a card show up trying to see if I can get some purchases and try to build another 20 thing economy. Because see, I just hate getting an allocation. I see dudes using 5 or 7 out of 20. I just think it's a waste. I mean, if I had 18, I'd be all right, but I like to use it for max value onto it. But nope, those cards are all long gone, Todd. Long gone. 2 on my eat. The other 4, thankfully, it's short, so we'll see how it goes. The funny part is they're like, we're going to have to cut you a check to your USPS account. And I tried swapping in the informed delivery and the account to the PO box, and it said it was good to go, that I had to get verified by the mail. And then I get something in the mail saying that it's not eligible. And I'm like, that makes no sense. So yeah, it's bad. It's a local post office. Like I said, it did it. I mean, there's just no way around it, because I have a buddy whose wife's a supervisor now up there. And he was telling me on the phone, I was telling him about I had stolen mail. And he was like, yeah, my wife, man, she got promoted to supervisor this week. And I guess they had to try track down a few packages up here, and they were tearing everything apart. I'm like, that would be mine. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, oh, yeah. Told him the story. Just making sure none of these notifications I need to get to. And he's like, wow. I'm going to tell her. I said, dude, you're not going to be allowed to work with me or ever hang out with me. But yeah, a lot of people in it. Their inspector, is it inspector general or something like that's now involved into the case. It's going to probably turn out bad for if they can figure out who it was. The funny part is what I learned, there's no cameras in the back for the local post office to actually show somebody thieving something. So basically, I could bring in a bag or my jacket and then decide, hey, I'm going to throw it over this box and packages, take it out to my car, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, literally for, we'll just say, like, we'll just be generous, around $1,000 in cards, you're going to commit felony. That's crazy. So I'm gonna hit some of the key points of this stuff. If you're starting to go to card shows, make sure you have PayPal and Venmo. I have noticed a lot of dealers are not taking PayPal anymore. They're only taking Venmo because they're trying to skate that 1099. So if you guys don't have Venmo or Cash App, oh wow, yours don't have them either. Crazy. I would try to suggest to get that in case you find you're like holy grail there and you don't have the money on you. But that was like one of my biggest key things that I found out. The other one is that a lot of people don't price their cards and they don't know the value of their cards and they have to eBay every single one of them to give you a price. Most frustrating thing there is. So if you guys ever go set up, put some prices on. If you have some that you don't have prices on, I mean, because they're bigger or there's nothing sold and it's like make an offer, that's fine. But when you have like 4 display cases worth of cards and you have to look up every single one, that's just crazy. But that's mostly, I mean, like I was telling Joey, I think out of like the 20 some card, I sold like 3 or 4 were basketball, majority were baseball and football right now. A lot of people are trying to get ahead of the curve because, hey, now we're not giving our top 5 picks of the week and stuff like that out there. People are actually, preaching what, was preached about a year and a half ago. Buy stuff in the off season because that's where you probably get your most gains at. And second of all, baseball just came out of the strike. What's up, Justin? But I noticed also a lot of people at the shows are not really licensed dealers per se. So, like in my state, in order to be considered a dealer and have a dealer booth, you're supposed to have your licensing. And I don't think many of them do up there. Now, I know in the old days, they used to send somebody out from the Frankfurt office and you'd have to fill out these tax forms and stuff. And now they're not, I haven't seen anybody at one in years. But I'm sure in the light of all this money and stuff that's going on, it's eventually going to come to fruit. And it's just going to be really ugly for a lot of people on that stuff because sales tax and all the other yachty stuff that goes on with that. But I still will tell you, digging in them bends is probably your best bet, and just being able to look over your cards in there, because that one purchase I did last summer, I'm probably at like 20 to 25 times what I put in it. Crazy stuff's 9 and 10 out of it. And just, you're not going to find gold at every show. Just know that. Sometimes you got to put a lot of work in to find that stuff, but it's out there. It really, really is. And that's usually what I do. I just start going through boxes and bins and look at display cases, and you try to package stuff, all that. And it's basically, for me, going to a card show, I'm not buying graded. I'm looking for raw. Because mostly people on their graded stuff's in too high and just pass over the booth. And also, I want to bring something up. I was thinking about doing a video of where are they now type deal of a lot of, we're going to use the word influencers, but we're going to use it very loosely. There was a lot of people, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat thing, and everything else during the boom, and they're all gone. So what I've noticed, well, what I found today, which I thought was, it's a great channel, Sports Card Radio. They've been around for a long time. Like, they used to be the place where you would go get your set checklist and stuff. Like, before Group Break came out and stuff like that. Really, really informative. And I kind of like how they are. They have like that sarcastic funny to them with their stuff, but they bring a lot of stuff to light they have for years. And if you guys get a chance, go check out Sports Card Radio's video today. And I think it was like something like if they're still going to be in the hobby or broke at the end of this year, and just what they talk about onto it. There's a lot of good information put out onto that stuff. And I mean, granted, whenever they started pushing a lot of this stuff this year, they got a little bit of flack from some of the influencers out there, but they stick to their guns. And I mean, it's really good information. Um, it talks about how people come and go in the hobby very quickly. And it makes a lot of sense because I think in the past year, I've gone back through all my YouTube channels and just started unsubscribing because a lot of people don't do videos anymore. And I'd probably say I probably got rid of 70% of them just because they're no longer existent. And I think throughout this year, we're going to see more pan out as PSA starts unfolding with everything, with all the backlog, and people are just way in too high. I know we talked about the COVID loans and stuff before, and all the fun with that. But I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a turn in the hobby this year. And I'm not talking about, inflation and decreases, because as PSA finishes up this last bit of the bubble, because they're in April stuff in some of the categories right now. So I think they got to go through like middle May, end of May. A lot of those pop reports will be pretty much point on. Okay. So we'll know where we're at. And like when I say pop reports, don't just use one pop report for everything. And if somebody ever can make something with a pop report with PSA, Beckett, and SGC stuff all in one spot, buco money onto it. Because that would be one of the greatest things of trying to look up pop reports across the board. Just not what things are selling for, but actual pop reports to show you. And just, one line across with each one, you'd be able to do a lot with that. But I just noticed a lot of people are now gone out of it. I've noticed to where there's breakers that are no longer even around. Even breakers are having issues filling stuff anymore, and it's due to the product pricing. So the best thing I could probably put out is that, like, if you spend X amount of money per year with a product, which is either Panini Tops, per sport, you get allocation. That allocation means it's pre-order pricing, which is below MSRP. So if MSRP at start of it's $400 a box, you might be getting it for $280. I don't know. $320 or something like that. But as the MSRP goes up afterwards, because of like David Adams, Leighton, blowout, and all that stuff, you're still getting your price, but there's a bigger price increase. But in order to keep that allocation, you got to keep buying back and back and back into it. And it's just a lot of money. And that's why a lot of breakers are just going away, because those initial gains just aren't there anymore. At the same time frame, how many people are going to sit there and spend like $3,000 on the Hornets in a flawless break? Even if you do random teams on that stuff, it's still expensive. And then if you do it 3 or 4 times, you get stuck with, one of the scrub teams on there multiple times. I mean, it hurts. To me, if I was a person trying to get in flawless, I would just buy the card I want. I haven't had a chance to watch anything with preseason this year, or at least with any information onto it yet. I'm flipping through pages, so I'll be flipping back and forth through chat like I normally do. Some of the big things since the last overtime, a lot of the quarterback situation, Baker out pretty much. How they're going to handle that. Burnt Bridge is going to be different. Watson, for Cleveland. Matt Ryan in Indy. Mariota goes to Atlanta. All that stuff. The Tyreek Hill thing in Miami, I think that hurts him, and it also hurts the Chiefs in a way too, but we'll see how it pans out this year. Trying to see what else there was. Just a lot of crazy stuff with it. You just see that like one whole division between like the Chiefs, Broncos, was it Raiders and Chargers. They're just picking up anything they can to try to stack themselves to have some type of competition in there. Let me flip back here. Again, just everybody's tracking sometime early evening, somewhere around dinner time, probably 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Come on for about an hour or two, do a quick sale. So if you guys are around, I'll try to get a video out a couple hours before it. At least want the PSA video to be a little bit out there first. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Probably gonna be roughly around 30 items. Not like I said, real crazy. Just stuff that either I haven't moved at shows or I just don't have the time to grade it. Stuck in the store for a while, whatever it may be. So if you guys are looking for some deals, it's just gonna be straight sale, no auction. I did apply for a Whatnot account, believe it or not. Haven't been accepted yet. If that does go on, and I do get to Whatnot, we will go back to auctions once a month or something, just on Whatnot because of the timer, the feed being more, I guess you could say, live than it is through me streaming through a program, streaming to YouTube type deal where it's that big lag for everybody. It's different. So I think that'll be good onto it. I will not be hosting breaks on there at all. Breaking has been done for a while. But I think we'll probably just move it over there for like that once a month type deal onto it. We'll see if I get approved first. Although I see a lot of people that have been approved that I know that had YouTube channels, and I guess they just let anybody get on Whatnot. I don't know. So we'll see. Could be. I heard some people wait a month, some wait 2 months. I don't know who he's been trying to find a Lawrence Auto for a while. But at least something decent of a decent product like Spectra. No, I don't think he's on the Watson bandwagon yet. People are trying to get me to buy Trubisky stuff, and I'm like, oh no, no, no. I mean, there's that 5% chance he might do something up there, but he's not the answer. But I think Pittsburgh also just shot themselves in the mouth too, because they said, oh, if they release Baker Mayfield, he's just going to drive right down here inside Pittsburgh. And I'm like, well, there you go. You just ruined whatever you had with Trubisky and anybody else on the team. Mason Rudolph, and I just said, I have no faith in you two, but if we can get Baker, we're going to take him. I mean, Baker might be a good change of scenery. I just don't know how well it'll do down there. And with Tomlin's thing with like Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Juju doing whatever they wanted to do type deal, I just don't think that's a perfect role model for somebody like Baker to hold him to the old Steelers standard. We'll say the Coach Cowher standard. Haven't seen much really on scams going on. Just the basic stuff. Nothing like really in depth out there to where it's video worthy. Most of it's people ghosting, you send them friends and family and them not ever shipping to you. Stuff like that there. Yeah, he's trying to make that money right now. Because he knew Trubisky was going to find a home, possibly be a starter. Stuff was dirt low. It went up. People are going to run the chance onto it. I just wouldn't have done it myself. I would have rather try and think. I don't know. I think I'd rather bought Mariota. But he's going to have a rough time down in Atlanta, too. I am kind of curious to see the next show I set up how many people are buying Matt Ryan stuff from up at Indy. I've been catching some of these guys' videos that go to these shows and stuff, and I'm just like, wow. Some of the stuff I won't even touch. But hey, if you're young and you can afford to take the risk, go for it. Now, is this not supposed to be the night you and your wife are supposed to be doing something, Mister? And don't forget, you have to be up early too tomorrow. Getting a scolding on YouTube. Oh, I know I was going to hit two. I had a Zoom with the guys from Due Dilly. They hit me up. They're making a lot of changes to that app. They went through a lot of your guys' comments to try to get stuff, taken care of better. And they have a pretty good game plan with Due Dilly. We'll see how it pans out and everything, but it was really interesting to hear overall. They're going to look at trying to see if there's a way to take the app as you take a picture to see if the card's trimmed. But they did ask me to get one thing out on the app, and that is you cannot have the card in a penny sleeve or top loader, and your background has to be different than that of the card color. Makes sense. Dark bordered card, white piece of paper for a background. White border tops, something like dark, like purple, black, brown, So just hitting it up like that, just so you guys know. They're trying to get the corners and the edges and the surface thing worked out with some stuff too. So if they get that stuff all plugged, it might be pretty good. And from my understanding, I don't think they're going to make it a chargeable app. I could be wrong, but it looks like it's going to remain free. At the bar playing Keno. My grandma likes to play Keno. That's the hardest game to hit on, Keno. You got to box numbers, I remember trying to do. Troy, I'm going to tell you what, this year's quarterbacks, I am not touching any of them. I'm a fan of Pickett to the point where I know Pittsburgh, if they have a chance to pick him or that Willis guy, they're going to take Willis and watch Pickett turn into like a Marino type situation where they should have took Marino years ago. But I am not really going to go heavy on any quarterbacks this year. I just don't have a warm fuzzy about any of these guys offhand. Maybe Pickett a little bit. I know people were talking about Willis could throw a ball and, yada, yada, yada. But when you're not having anybody coming at you and stuff like that, really different. Well, that's good if they're coming with a new label. I will say from a lot of people I know that are grading with CSG, Troy, is that they are harder graders. And as long as they keep that standard and their 10s are slim, that's good. And I mean, I know in the last card show, a couple guys tell me that like, oh, PSA 10s are plentiful, but I'm like, dude, they don't have 9.5s. I'm like, if they had a 9.5 and they would have adopted that in, it'd be a big change, but that's a harder thing to do a .5 on, when you're talking between mint and gem mint, after you've been established for so many years, because then you're kind of forcing people to regrade those cards. One, to get the newer label so people know it, but I said it would just be too bad of a process. So yeah, you are going to see more 10s and 9 out there than anything else, other 10s of BGS and stuff. But no, I've heard some good stuff about CSG, but their resale value from what I see at these shows are horrible. I would be the guy that saw like a quad 9.5 CSG and I'd buy it and pop it and send to PSA. Just to see how that would turn out. Yeah, I've always seen a few 10s out there from people that do orders. I mean, I know guys that have like probably over the last 4 or 5 years are sitting around 75, 80% gem rates. And they're getting, like a 5% gem or a 10 rate with CSG. It's kind of like the Beckett label in a way. Because I can tell you with Beckett, I mean, I had a spur where I was hitting a lot of tens with them, but it was a lot of hockey upper deck stuff back in the day because that stuff was like the best thing to grade with them to get tens. I had some nice Bowman Chrome stuff that came back in tens. I sold quickly, like a Hyora draft rookie gold. They got a couple of Mejias 10 too back then, but I was more about getting rid of them and trying to get something different. Most of you guys know that I'm just not a baseball prospector and hold 5 years, 3 or 5. I would rather get the money for him now and go after, an established quarterback or retiree vet, something like that. Troy, is your border open back up yet? Or I should say, is the border open back up yet? Because I think I still have a card of yours up on the shelf. I'm just not going to get up. I'm just curious. Because what it does, just send me an email or something like, hey, ship it to this address and I will. So anybody get any kind of crazy pulls this week or buy anything crazy? And I think we're going to stick with overtime bi-weekly right now until stuff starts filtering better. I haven't really seen much big pulls being posted recently either. All I know is I keep seeing people buying flawless briefcases, trying to get some kind of triple logo man thing like LeBron. And then I keep getting asked the one big question: do I think that what is it, that celebrities and sports cards is good? It has its pros and cons across the board. By them buying all that stuff up, eventually all it's going to do is make everything else go up in value, box prices. That's the way it goes. Um, Good thing is it, more people see it, maybe more people try to get in the hobby again. Well, there also the point was when they did the 0.5 thing a while back, was that if they did a 9.5, a lot of people would be second guessing all those tens that are out there prior to that. It would force people to resubmit. Now, granted, they'd have to repay and all that stuff. And I think that would just cause chaos with them. Oh, wow. Yeah, we just had that new COVID variation thing hit our area. Yeah, just send me wherever you need me that address to, and I'll send that off on Monday to you. Next day, I'm going PO box. Now, just so everybody's tracking, I'm really trying to only hit the PO box twice a week. The first work day or first business day and last business day of the week, excluding Saturdays and federal holidays. So now, if it's something crazy like a big card, I will go there. But it's just a process of me going in through a gate that's secure and doing all the checks and then driving the PO box, then back. Now, if I'm back at work on post and I'm already there, I'll do them every day. So, anybody on here have any like opinions or whatnot? I've been trying to watch the stuff and see what goes on there. I've noticed a lot of retail breaks. Go figure. I guess that's where all the Instagrammers went to. And I've been trying to catch like auctions and cards and stuff like that, but a lot of them are just like, I'm just not interested. Now, a few people that I do know that are on there to do their mid and high end, their stuff's good. But most of it to me is just stuff I see at every card show at every other table, if not every table almost. Try to make sure I'll kick the dog under me tonight. Oh, and I'm going to do a video for next week one day. I'm going to show you guys with the black light just how to check these new PSA slabs because they got a holographic thing onto it. I showed it the other day during, I think, a live, but I want to make sure there's a video out there just so you guys can see the front and back of it and see where the hollows are on the front across like the red border and the label at the top. And then on the back around the PSA logo, it's again onto, but you can only see with a black light. Something good to know out there, you know. I'm sure eventually somehow the fake slab people will figure it out. But tomorrow it'll be baseball, basketball, football that I got laying here. I got a huge Mahomes lot laying here, just probably about, I don't know, 15 cards. We'll just start probably off with that. Just stuff I want to move off the desk here so I can clean it up. Huh. I haven't seen him on there. Yeah, I'm trying to hear what the alert is going on the TV upstairs, so bear with me. I don't know if it's a child abduction or they lost an old person again or a storm. Let me see if there's anything on my phone. I can't make out what they're saying up there. I know it's not the monthly test. Yeah, Mahomes, it's a stack like that. No, I've missed one, but yeah, he's in it. No Iserman. Well, hello. Are you going to the Mint Collectible tomorrow? I got WWE basketball, Durant rookies, Blaze Jordan, Trey Young, more Durant, Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt Jr., Dominguez, Lamar Jackson, Mac Jones. Let's see what's in this stack. Oh, not that far away. Some playbook stuff I was in a break with. That Bay kid from Pittsburgh, Halliburton's. Some older elite cards, Malone jerseys, another young rookie, Donovan Mitchell rookies, Malone jersey, Keenan Allen, rookie auto, Bonds plate, home run plate piece, stuff like that. Let me see what's in this stuff here. I got to put these in top layers. Those are two Kobe rookies that have Garnett and O'Neal on it. Well, it's weird. It's usually I get the alerts on my phone too. Wait, it's under weather. Here it is. An active child abduction near Louisville. Yeah, see, we have these child abductions all the time, and freaking they'll be like, there's an old person that has like dementia and they lost. Are you heading over there tomorrow, Teddy? I know Joey is. And I did hear Jeff Wilson is doing autographs. I was going through that all the vendors at the Mint Collectible because I was kind of curious. I knew a couple people are set up there. Oh, there goes the child abduction thing again going. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can just hear the alert with the little siren thing. It makes you think that you're in that oh, I can't remember what the heck those movies were. The Purge. Not your scene. I don't know if he could be seen playing poker right now, that bankruptcy case. Man, because if somebody gets video of that stuff, that'll be make him famous on the tube and Instagram and Snapchat and everything else. Did anybody watch that huge mega flawless break yesterday? I think it was Leighton and Blez together doing it with like I think GTS was part of the backing to it and all that. Heard a lot about it. I was in the chat for about 10 minutes. I couldn't take because everybody was talking about the two girls in bikinis. I'm like, you've never seen girls in bikinis before? You know, I've heard that about Dana White. A guy that I know from up in Maine went to high school with Dana. And I guess he has still a really good friendship with him. I think Dana White was just on, was he on Logan Paul's show? Like within the last week or so. I was thinking there was some bad blood because of him and his brother and Dana White with the whole thing, but I guess not. I'll see a lot of his UFC fighters after their prime are starting to go become wrestlers. Now I tried that new prime drink finally. Smoother, but man, I mean, like the taste packs a punch. It's got flavor to it. I will say that. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Man, every time I went to Vegas and I was not with somebody like a female companion or something, taxi drivers, limo drivers are like, hey, you want to stop and get some alcohol real quick? We could stop. You want to go to one of these strip clubs for a little bit? I'll come back, pick you up. You want me to take you out? I forget the little town where I guess sex is legal or something. I can't, or have brothels and all that. I'm like, no, dude, just give me a hotel. I ain't out here to give them my money. I would say they are not cheap this weekend. I'll make my way back out there in the next 2 years. I'm going to try to time it with one of the other shows, not like the Mint Collective, but a regular show. Hopefully by then I'll have my own camera crew, you know. I cannot remember the name of it. It's been a few years since I've been to Vegas. I mean, I used to enjoy going there once, twice a year. I'd fly out real early in the morning, usually like on a Friday, and I'd fly back early Monday morning. And I'd get there, it was dead. When I left, it was dead. It was perfect because I remember getting to like the hotel at like 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, Bellagio already has your stuff set up for you. And by the time I would go downstairs, get something to eat, like things would start getting packed around 2, 3 o'clock. I am not Troy. I will not go to Atlantic City. Next, the following year, it's in Chicago. I will probably go up to that. Downtown, like on the strip downtown? Is that what you mean by downtown? Or more like downtown, like the old part of it all? I still have mileage points that I could use. They had big rollover for it because of COVID. There's a big show in August up in Colorado. I think he's trying to. Last year was 200 tables. This year, I think he's trying to push 400. I mean, that's huge at 400 if he could pull that off. Teddy, I will tell you this much: I've never been to a strip club in Vegas. Normally, I will just stay at the Bellagio. I'll eat at the Bellagio and everything. Occasionally, I was like when I had my female companion during a couple of them. We went to shows and stuff, and we'd go other places to eat. But most I like just going by myself, so I can just do whatever I want. Okay, the old part. All right. Yep, I know where that's at. So I would need to stay down that way instead. I have a couple people live right outside of it too. I know. My time in the army, I might try just couch crash or something. I've always liked it. So when I first started going out to Vegas, I was staying in places like the Tropicana, Excalibur, MGM. So I deployed to Afghanistan the first time. That was like in '09. Came back in 10. And I went online, found a cheap ticket from out of Colorado to go out to Vegas. That was because it was so cheap and easy to go to. And the Bellagio was like had a good rate, so I was like, done, take it. I did that 2 times, and then they started offering me these small comps and stuff to go out there. And then because a buddy of mine, I got hooked up on like better comps. Yeah, Troy, it's up in Aurora, somewhere up that way. I was looking, this is no joke. I was looking at prices on tables for Vegas to set up at. Man, that's thousands of dollars for a table in Vegas that was showing on their website. And I was like looking like at the prices of like how Nashville does theirs, Dallas and stuff. Dallas is even expensive. I mean, you cannot be some of these guys to go to local shows to go out there. You got to push product or make sales basically because that's just no joke anymore. I haven't set up at something that costed more than probably $200 in 20 years, maybe now. We used to do a couple big ones that were out in Charlotte, and they were Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday show. And for all 3 days, that was $200. One table, 8-footer. But being there for 3 days, you had to bring a lot of inventory, a lot. And that's back when stuff was a lot cheaper too. Yeah, I'll never forget because I think I was in it for around 350 with a hotel. That's not even counting gas going up there. So that Friday, you're just trying to make your money back for that stuff. Hey, from what I saw, the Vegas thing, I think I told Joey it was 5,000 or something or set up there. And I was like, yeah, that can't be right. And then I was looking. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it here. Show you guys. Let me figure out I have to share screen again. I haven't done this in a minute. So, real quick, you guys check this out. Sold out Terran Hall table rental only. Sold out table rental $10,000. This is at the Dallas one. If you're paying a $10,000, I don't know what a table consists of, but it says table rental $10,000 right there. I was like, there's no way. Look, 10,000. $50 to rent a showcase. But for 19th, 20th, 24-day rental, $10,000. All right, let me flip back over here. Isn't that crazy? I thought 10,000 might have been a booth to where you got like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tables into it, and I can understand that, but I don't understand what it meant by table rental $10,000. I was like, oh hell no. There's no humanly way. Honestly, I was thinking for that whole time frame, it might have been somewhere around 750 for 3 or 4 days for a table, which I'd have been cool with. But that, wow. I mean, I think I'll stay to setting up at the local shows because I mean, I know what the national runs. That's an expensive one there, but that's the national. It's a week long, basically. I mean, literally for that, if that's what it costs for a table for those many days, that means you got to pull at least $250 a day to cover your table per day. That's if you live in the area, you're good. You just go back and forth. But then if you have hotel and all that other stuff, my God. No, and that's the thing is, so even if you bring out, if you take, so you guys know I have my showcases the long way. You know, if I flip it going this way, I can fit 3 on a table on an 8-footer. So if you have 3 cases of high end, we're going to say high end is like 2,500 and up. You're at least going to sell one or sell a $10,000 card there. I mean, just to cover that, that's insane. I don't think that's right. I think it has to be a glitch on their website. I'm going to watch for the next one to see if it's different, but I just don't see how that could be $10,000 for a table. I figured that might have been like a little square, you know, how they usually get like 3 tables in a square or whatever. If you want an end cap and all that stuff's a little bit more, but you know, then I figured, okay, if you got 3 tables, then you know you get 3 people, divide that in there, you know, say $3,333 a piece. That's still expensive. Petty, that's the best thing to do is go to shows to buy. I mean, realistically, you can sell stuff every which way and go to local shows because I'll tell you, the local shows, a lot of people go around with some big money. Every show, I can tell you, there's at least about 4 or 5 guys carrying 5+ out there on them buying. But I just don't see the big shows. I mean, you got to have a ton of inventory for that. A ton. And I mean, that's where it starts coming into play. You got a $15,000 card, somebody offers you 10, and towards the end of the show, you're like, man, I got you just to pay for my stuff. I mean, if I traveled to Dallas, I would probably ship my stuff back too. I probably purposely would leave out on like a Monday evening and just go to the post office Monday morning, box my stuff up, and ship it to myself. I'd carry the high end back, but if I was out there buying like $5 to $50 cards, I probably wouldn't be carrying that back on a plane because I would be the guy that does have a regular checked in bag, and then I'd probably bring my carry on with me. But I don't think I would be bringing a lot of cards to trade either. If it was driving distance, that's a different story. Let me see if I can find this other one on here. See, this makes sense. Let me find that share. So this is the Vegas one you're talking about. Premium tables 350, basic table 300. I don't know what difference is unless it depends on location. And you can rent display cases, $50 for the entire event. So that's kind of cool. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 3 days. That's not bad. You could get away with doing that for $350 for a premium table. Dealer setup, VIP ticket, GA, general admission. Okay. Ticket holders. 11 to 7, 1 to 7, and then general admission 11 to 7 if you don't do VIP. This is actually doable in price. Yeah, I mean, there's the local shows, and even like the real smaller local shows, you'll still see guys carrying the big wads with them because you never know when you're going to find what I call a gold, basically out there. It happens once every so often. Like that time I went to Lexington, didn't have a plan on buying anything. Luckily, I had some cash on me, and then he took a little bit of PayPal too. But he was from here, it was Detroit or Chicago, one of the two, and they were doing their own little drive going the whole way down the coast there. It shows every weekend, just trying to sell out of everything. And we were the second stop, and I mean, I went through looking through I don't know how many Durant's and Kobe rookies and stuff, and took out ones that I figured were at least going to be a 9, possibly 10s. Yeah, I wouldn't want to out to Atlantic City. No, no, no. Yeah, I see them do that to where they'll each have a display thing. I mean, if you were doing Vegas, I mean, for 350 for a premium table, I mean, you could just split it, each have a showcase, 175. That's doable. But some of the other ones, I don't know how people are going to afford Dallas. I don't understand why it's $10,000 for a table. It says there. Cash is key. It always is. Because you know how many people don't record those cash sales out there? That's why. I sit there and take pictures of all the stuff I sell with the cash. That way, when I come home, I don't have to count all. I know what it was there and I know what I spent. And it all goes in the books, cash in, cash out. Because if they would have an issue about me putting cash that I sold stuff for cash, then I'll be like, or they have or I bought stuff with cash from the show, then I'll be like, hey, the stuff I sold for cash comes out and that's greater than what I spent. I mean, normally the beginning of the show is when you go through and pick and find your needle in the haystack type deal stuff. The end of the show, you could tell the people that haven't sold, and you could usually start with cash onto it. You could get them down pretty good if you want to stick around that long. And basically, you're looking at what I always called the leftovers, but nowadays the leftovers are pretty good because they were always high priced to begin with. When I'm set up, that's what I do. I walk the show floor in the beginning, pick out what I know is like, boom, I need to get now. And then around lunchtime, I'll start walking around again because a lot of guys, I don't know why it is, they come up to me, ask me how I'm doing for the show. You've been selling a lot? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing? Oh, it's been bad, man. It's rough. You know, there's like, I barely got my hotel money and table fee right now. And I'm like, huh, sorry to hear it. I'll walk over. It's just they have a lot of retail stuff. Nobody wants to buy it. Or it's, you know, you're pricing it against everybody else in the room and your stuff's higher. It's just not going to move. I don't, Teddy. I think the next 90 days we will actually see it because where PSA's at on their stuff, they're in April with a lot of their submissions right now. Now it's not taking effect all the group breakers or the group submitter guys stuff. I'm just talking about people personal accounts. But I think within the next 90 days, we're going to pretty much see where it bottoms out at. And from there, you know, it might dip some more of the group submitter stuff coming back. But I think we'll be back to a level playing field where it's going to be player performance, the general hype of, you know, a new release to, you know, oh, first Bowman rookies and rookie cards of play, you know, rookies and stuff. And, you know, with that again, I would definitely say by end of the year, we'll know where we're at across the board. The next big change is going to be Fanatics. That's going to hit hard. And that'll really determine the market for the next, what is it, 15, 20 years, something like that. So that will be the biggest key point because I've talked to a lot of the dealers that I know at these shows, and a lot of them, you know, deal with vintage and they'll be fine for years. A lot of the guys that are buying the newer stuff are really worried about it. And I would be too, because if that's what you're banking yourself on, you should have been known when Fanatics started buying out all that stuff. You should be picking up stuff, grading it. Hey, if it takes a year to come back, so be it, you know, but at least you'll have inventory to where we don't have it. We have an unknown of Fanatics, how it's going to work. And the way that, what's his name? Josh Luber or something like that. These card shops will look ratty and stuff inside. He's not going to want you to be a Fanatics representative. I mean, this dude's like a boutique sneakerhead dude, okay? He wants these new buildings looking fresh and clean and organized and all that. And I think it's going to kick a lot of the older shops out. They won't be able to get underneath Fanatics umbrella. Just my thought onto it. I don't know if anybody else has talked about it, but that would be my thought process. Yep. That's why I've been slowly pulling a little bit of money here and there out of the old savings account because I mean, you could just tell there's people over their head. And then eventually they're so frustrated at the end of the show. They're like, I came here to sell. I'm just going to sell. That's fine. I'll take it for it. I'll take the loss. Well, you're going to have to because it's never going to reach that value again. And like I always tell people, just because, say, somebody, you want to buy a $500 card and the lowest they'll do is like $450 on it. I say, okay, if you'll do $450 on this, will you take this and this for this price? And I'll take this for $450. Normally they'll do it because they might have more wiggle room on other cards to make the deal because they want to sell. They're just old selling strategies. I mean, this is no joke. When I was in Hawaii, I don't really give a whole lot about my prior life. I sold cars for a while. I think it was like about 6 months, maybe or so, because I had to generate money for my divorce after I got divorced. And, there's key points to it. To me, I already was getting a paycheck and I was just doing it on certain weekends and weekdays and stuff. So I didn't care about my profit margin. I just wanted to do volume for them. And I did well that way. Then I went on recruiting. You start learning all these other signs, how to read people. And if they, you got to really dig into the classes they give you, not the general, what was it? Fact, evidence, benefit, agreement crap. But if you could sit there and read somebody and just understand their body language, you could tell if they really want to sell or they don't care. They're just going to hold it forever and ever and ever. And you'll never see that card again too. Huh. I've never seen. I'll have to see if I can Google that or go on YouTube and look for it, Henry. I heard there's that grading company out there. There's a couple in Canada that have been real reputable for a while. And then you have that new one for basically it was made for soccer cards somewhere in like South America. I can't remember if it's like Colombia or something like that. Yeah, you really can. I mean, some stuff you just got to hold for a long time and just know when to sell. I mean, that's why I always, when people were talking like they want to get their kids into it and stuff, I'm like, listen, don't be spending all this money on all this new stuff. It's just not really there. Start looking at veteran players that are going to be Hall of Fame and stuff, and buy the low number autos and stuff. That way they have something, if the kid's 10 years old in 8 years when he turns 18, it's worth more money, hopefully, as long as the guy doesn't pull like a crazy Deshaun Watson, OJ Simpson type deal where stuff drop. Well, I shouldn't say Watson because he's not been, I guess they said they're not going to indict him or something now, two different courts. So, but at least OJ type. Yeah, a lot never did. I mean, I took breaks in there. Some were forced breaks now, granted, because of deployments and stuff. But I mean, I took breaks just because, it was just dry out there. And I just concentrated for, oh gosh, I want to say it was like 2 years plus. I was just concentrating on Jordan. Occasionally I'd pick a Clemente or Nolan Ryan up. Then Crosby's rookie year came out and I spent a good chunk there. And then I was in on the hype on LeBron during his rookie year. And then he kind of was like fazzle that rookie year to where stuff at first was high and kind of like dropped, right? And I was buying boxes from David Adams religiously at that time frame. Them and was in Pittsburgh Wholesale Warehouse, which I believe now is still City Collectibles out of McKeesport. And I would open some I saved for just later on for a rainy day, and that rainy day never came. The word liquid. I just laugh at it every time somebody's like, this is liquid. I'm like, really? Okay, if that's the cool new terminology, but it just means you can move it. I got these cards here. They're really liquid. I'm like, well, you walk the whole showroom, and I'm like one of the last people you talk to. They're not too liquid, are they? Oh, Troy, I definitely have bought in gold and silver way back in the day. I bought into it starting in 2005 and 6. And I think the silver I was paying under $10 an ounce. I think it was like $7 or $8 an ounce back then. It might even been lower. And just throughout time, picking pieces up here and there cheaply, especially gold. It was real cheap back then. Now look at the price. I got them little bars that have numbers on them and stuff like that. But my whole plan was that if the United States ever fell completely apart, I had gold and silver and I can go to another country and reestablish my life somewhat. a matter of fact, I just found, I forgot I had it. I won it in a Raz for like $20. It was what it was worth. It's a choice ounce coin of Larry Bird, and it's numbered and everything. I think I looked on eBay and they were going like 50, $60 now. But I was getting stuff like that all the time. You see, I picked those coins up from that guy. I just felt bad. You know, he said he needed older guy, and the guy I was sitting behind a table with, he knew him. He was trying to get money for his prescription. So I'm like, what do you want for the rest of it? I'll buy it. I mean, he's like, well, this is what I think, you know, the grade would be, and this is what it would be worth, and I'll give it to you at like 30% of that. And I'm like, all right, just give me a total on it all. I mean, guy said he was using to get his meds, so I don't know. Older guy, like in his 70s too, maybe even 80s. I've been venturing that way along with non-sports. I just got another Clemente 73 Tops PSA 7. I mean, I have a higher grade in my collection, but you know, stuff like that. I mean, even that. So I don't want to tell you what my Koufax grade. That'll be in a video probably later next week whenever it comes in. I was surprised it got a lower grade than what I thought, but I haven't personally sent in vintage for a long time to be graded, so I'm kind of off on my numbers. No, I'm always looking for stuff like that though out there. The one no I let slip away was that Curry Tops rookie. I knew it was a 9 too. And if people weren't at my table that day, I was buying it from this guy. I literally went back to my table, did the deal, came back, said, hey, let me get that Curry now. It's like, I just sold it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because I know if that thing graded out back then, it was money. He was just selling it at like the low Beckett book value. I didn't even know Beckett still did magazines. Yeah. I bought into, I don't know, remember who made them, but I have Jordan silver coins and gold coins both. The thing is, when I was younger, I was able to take more risk into stuff in my 20s, even the early 30s. You could take risk because, like, for me, I knew, oh, I still had X amount of years to retire. And if this it doesn't do well, you know, type deal, oh, well, type deal, wasn't going to kill me. Nowadays, while I'm retired, even though I still got a job, you know, I really second guess a lot of what I'm looking at anymore, especially if I'm going big. All right, Cheryl, you have a good one. Hey, don't forget, hit me up with an email with your address. I'll mail it out Monday to you. For sure, I got one card up there for you, if not more. No, he was playing Keno, he said. And his phone does get choppy, though, in the casinos, too. I told him to go live from his phone tomorrow at the Mint Collectible. And see what I like with Joey and stuff like that. He knows what I like, and I know what he likes. And by us being on different sides, going to different shows, you know, if he sees something I might like, he sends me a picture and vice versa. Every now and then I just take the gamble and buy it because I know it's like 5 or 6 in the morning his time. And by the time I get an answer from him, I'd probably already be gone. But I mean, I do. There's a couple of us that do that for each other. There's a couple other guys over like Texas and Washington and do shows, and they'll send me pictures all the time from shows. You interested? They got it for this. Then they grab the card once it's paid and they get it to me. Oh yeah, there's plenty of deals out there. You just got to find them. And what's the new term I keep hearing off that other YouTuber? Tenderized. You got to be tenderized. So we got liquid and tenderized now as key terms out there. You got to get down with the lingo, I guess. Here's how you know Joey's in the chat. Joey, moist. If he's in, he's probably laughing right now. He hates that word. Well, I'm a little over the hour tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get going, guys. Appreciate y'all stopping in. I know it's Friday. We're starting to get different weather and stuff out there. So we'll look at trying to get different time frame, maybe going into April onto this and stuff. But I want to get that up early, get that show, and get back. And I got to get some packages out. Like I said, somewhere early evening, I'll do a video a couple hours before I come on just with a preview in case anybody wants to pop in. Personality, yeah, you got to have that for sure. If you can't hold a conversation with somebody, you're just done out there. But all right, I am going to head out for the evening. If you guys need anything, just hit me up. Other than that, PSA video tomorrow. Then I'll be live tomorrow early evening, real quick sale. And then I gotta get the show video put together and a couple and that PSA thing video too. 92 degrees, dear goodness, man, it's cold out here. It went from like in the high 60s, and I mean, I think we're in the 40s with the wind out here right now. I kind of got a little bit of sniffles. I'm trying to hopefully go to a show where somebody doesn't think I got COVID or something. All right, guys, take care. See y'all next time.